live.
I'm the scat man. I'm the scat man.
Welcome to Covers His Puck Props with 14-year NHL vet Carlo Colaiacovo. The season's winding down. Unders are hitting at 68%. It's tough sledding out there. This was something we kind of expected. I expected it earlier, but I think we've kind of found out, Carlo, that the finite amount of time, I think the magic number's 6 weeks after stoppage before everything tightens up, systems get, everybody's there, and then it's even worse when it comes at the end of the season, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But hey, this stuff happens, man. You got to stay disciplined, and you've got to pick your spots, and hopefully you can manage your bets a little bit better, knowing that it is a little bit of a cold streak right now, and unders are impacting our stacks and our decisions, but we hope to bounce back here.
But not even that. Just I dropped 3 stacks yesterday, hit 50% of the players in all of them, didn't hit one. I needed Barrett Hayton for a point. Utah scored 7 goals. He didn't find his way on there.
No.
On a personal play, I needed Elias Lindholm for a point to stack that top line. Boston touchdown. I think it was +4, no point. There's just there's a lot of crap going on in terms of what do you got going on over there? Is that you? Just let it go.
She's just
be honest.
Yeah. Printing stuff. We have print on our phones. We can print stuff on our phones. She's just printing stuff.
Just randomly printing. Yeah. But no, it just seems like we're just not getting a lot of them. So I've kind of gone to 2 pairs and just got a message. I believe it was Mikey Glove saves yesterday. He's like, "Are they dead? Are the stacks dead?" And you're like, "Well, there's the volume's certainly lower. Mm-hmm. The volume is certainly lower." And today's an interesting day, but looking back on yesterday, we had the Dallas collapse, which is unheard of. And going back, they blew another third period lead to Vancouver, which was massive to Minnesota, which was massive for the Minnesota not to make the playoffs and Dallas to win the Presidents. Right. So, and then I think it was the Pittsburgh game, the game before, where they gave up 3 goals in the third and lost again.
Yeah, they were up by 1 with like 4 minutes left and gave up 2 goals to lose and 3 goals with an empty netter. Yeah.
Have you seen anything like you saw in the Vancouver game last night?
Never. I mean, to be up 5-2 with a minute left.
And you scored the empty netter.
You scored the empty netter. It's like, okay, mailed in, right? We're good. 3 goals in a minute on home ice. And then to top it off, you lose the game in overtime. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, brutal turnover behind the net. I don't know if it was Harley's fault. I know, but it just came right out front and game over. President's Trophy, that one hurt. What else we got? Leafs, where do you give that effort yesterday in terms of probably where? But I was saying Florida, just lose the game. Don't dress them. You don't need to. And now they're in Toronto's heads even more to say that we just outplayed you that bad and we didn't even have our A lineup again.
Yeah. And you say, where do I rank it? Like, it's a very frustrating loss for the Leafs. I mean, because you kind of sit there and you wonder, like, was this Maple Leafs team falling into the narrative that's being built by media of, oh, the Panthers are tanking to play the Maple Leafs, and felt like Florida wasn't going to show up to play this game? Florida just showed up and played a professional game. They didn't do anything great, but they did enough to win the hockey game. And the Leafs weren't even close to matching that. Weren't even close. They barely, if it wasn't for Joseph Wall, that would have been an absolute blowout of a game. And then what are we sitting here talking about with this Maple Leafs team? I think with this Maple Leafs team, what disappoints me is that, time and time again, they make life difficult for themselves. Where last night you had a chance to put Florida away and say, you know what? We're going to beat you, and we're going to end all hopes that you may have of getting home ice, of maybe winning the division. and putting you down and out, let you continue to taste losses. And instead, the Leafs, they show up to a game, they didn't play their best, not anywhere close to their best, and they allow Florida to win. And now it's like everything is still alive right now. And it almost seems like the Maple Leafs are more worried about what everybody else is doing instead of what they're doing. And look, I'm not going to overreact after one loss because they won 5 of them previous going into this one. So, but it's disappointing because if that game actually meant something and that was the effort that they came out and played with, that's even more concerning. But the fact it still meant a lot. Like the Maple Leafs should still try to win the division. Like that's a huge accomplishment for them.
Perez is saying, how hard is it to just stuff the puck in the boards and kill time? Panthers seem to be good at it. Do you practice that?
You don't practice it. You practice game management. You practice D-zone stuff. But at the end of the day, you still want your team to play hockey. You don't want to sit there and do what Chris Pronger used to do back in his Philly days. But remember when Guy Boucher would play the neutral zone trap where he'd play a 1-3-1 and wouldn't have anybody forecheck. And Pronger just stood at his own dot and it was like stick handling plug. He's like, come forecheck me. Come forecheck me. I'll kill the clock. I don't care. You don't want that to be the type of hockey. But, for the Maple Leafs, I think you just got to find a way to play better than you did last night because at this time of year with what they're playing for, it's an unacceptable effort.
All right, before we get to the slate, you have to vote in order these guys for the year MVP, team MVP for the Maple Leafs. Tavares, Marner, Matthews, Nylander. In order from MVP to least.
Marner.
That's how I did it. Yep.
Yeah. Tavares.
Ahead of Nylander?
Well, I think because Nylander has been put on a level where that's the type of production you expect from him. But did anybody expect this type of production from Tavares? 37 goals.
What a berry last night too, right? That was pretty.
I think that's why you've got to put him ahead of Nylander is because this type of production is unexpected.
So you're coming to the same conclusion that I am, and then Matthews is at 4.
Yeah, this has not been a great year by Austin Matthews, according to his standards.
No, I agree. Same spot.
Even in a game like last night, you had nothing going. You get a glorious chance in the slot off a turnover. That's your job to be a difference maker in that moment. You got to, your team's got nothing going. You got no shots on net. You get a chance, you got to be a difference maker in that game, in that moment. And he was.
Will you trade a down year for Matthews that he didn't put Canada away in overtime so we could win 4 nations? Right? Would you take that?
Selfishly, yeah, I'd take it
for sure.
Canada, yeah, but for the Maple Leafs, you're hoping that he got a chance to feel what that moment feels like, right? Because he hasn't had that moment yet as a Toronto Maple Leaf in the playoffs.
And Avi says Tavares may be number 1. It's Marner still. I was thinking about that, and you just look at what Marner does, his turnovers, everything. Special teams, he's still the most important person on that team.
And you look at Marner, the moments that Marner captured in that 4 nations, scored that big overtime goal against Sweden. If he doesn't score that, they don't get to the finals.
No.
And setting up the game winner to McDavid in overtime. Those are 2 big play moments.
Hats off to John Cooper for putting back on that line instead of, I forget who he was playing with on the third line, but yeah. Great move. Demidov, can he make an impact?
Absolutely he can.
Line A, Demidov, and then who centers that line?
Probably Newhook.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There's your line?
Ideally it would be Doc, but Doc's out for the year. But right now it's going to be Newhook. Yeah.
Demidov stays PP2, and then he runs the PP2?
Does he stay PP2 or does he play the role of Slavkovsky?
That's it. So do you take away Slav, who's been there the entire year?
Well, I don't think you do it right away because you don't want to put too much on Demidov's plate right away. But I think what it does is it puts Slavkovsky on notice.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like a
Like, hey,
mid-game
man.
change is in the cards.
Yeah, like if Demidov comes over and it's a seamless transition and this guy is skating and he's creating and he's feeling comfortable out there, like it's the same conversation we had at the beginning of the year when they were playing Lane Hudson on the second power play unit with Matheson on the top power play unit. Eventually, Hudson's play elevated him into that spot, and look what it's done for the team. But man,
Matheson on PP1. Remember when we were talking about that? Maybe we should
Yeah.
give Lane Hudson a chance at PP1.
right? Like this move has the potential to be absolutely electric for the Montreal Canadiens. Like this,
But
this guy,
and I know you got to have some experience. Like it's cool to have the excitement and run, but you need some reps before you get to 5 or 6 wins. No,
what do you mean 5 or 6 wins?
a playoff win plus more. You know what I mean? Get to the second round.
I mean, I don't know. Like in a normal circumstance, yes, but there's also a lot that adrenaline can do for you, and the adrenaline of coming over and feeling that electricity in the Bell Center and being part of playoff hockey. And it's not like the KHL is not an easy league to score goals in. Like it's a really, really good league. And this guy what did he score? 26 as a 19-year-old?
I think he set the point record for under 20 in the KHL.
Yeah. Like Kai's got game, and you wonder how much that could translate right away into the NHL. And I think the biggest factor in all that is having Marty St. Louis as his coach.
I think Scott didn't even St. Petersburg, his KHL team. I don't even think they dressed him in Game 6 of the playoffs.
You're right.
They scratched him.
They did,
and I think he led his team in playoff points. Should be very interesting. One really thing I'm excited for is he's going to be in the media. He'll probably have a translator, but he is cold. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, he's just a cool Russian who will say anything he wants to the media. Mm-hmm. So there'll be some cool bites about what he says in terms of the reaction of what he is. Very looking forward to that. So here you go. Before we get to the plays, last thing, just give me how many games and who wins this series. If it started today in the Eastern Conference, Toronto, Ottawa.
Wow.
I just assumed you'd say Toronto in 6 out of the gates now.
No, I don't, because like Ottawa's a team that could surprise many people come playoff time. I mean, because like you got Brady Tkachuk, who like look at what this guy did on the big stage at Fort.
Terrified. I was absolutely terrified of Brady Tkachuk.
And then you've got Linus Ullmark in net, and you've got like a jubilant group in the Ottawa Senators that really have nothing to lose because this is their first time there, and they could just soak it all in and embrace that underdog role, right? And I mean, I want to say Leafs in 6 because, you know, they should beat them in 6 games or less, but I would not be surprised if Ottawa found a way to win this series.
So answer the question.
Leafs in 6.
It's a long-winded way to say Leafs in 6. Tampa Bay, Florida.
It's either Leafs in 6 or Sens in 7.
Ooh, all right. Tampa Bay, Florida.
I got to go Florida on this one, man. Florida
How many games?
And Florida in 6.
Florida in 6. Washington, Montreal.
Montreal in 6.
Oh, Carolina, New Jersey.
Carolina in 5.
Yeah, that will be the 12:30 game on Saturday. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, there's the talk. So let's get to the games. Appreciate it. Thanks everybody there to chat. We get going. Toronto, Tampa Bay. Toronto plus 145 on the second of a back-to-back. Let's go under 6. Minus 115. Let's go Brandon Hagel. No point. Plus 135. Stolarz likely. Wall start. Stolarz 5-2 straight up in his last 7 games. 927 save. Number 1 goalie with a minimum of 30 starts and goals saved above expected per 60. Everyone says Ullmark might be the better goalie in that series. I don't know about that. See how it goes. Toronto coming off a bad game, so you have that angle. Neither team's been profitable to the over in their last 10, and Tampa Bay got that power play going. But who got demoted? Brandon Hagel. He's off PP1. They brought in Bjorkstrand. I know AK sent me a message. He's like, Bjorkstrand, power play point, plus 600.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, 3 power play points, donuts for Bjorkstrand. How do you see
Wow.
today's game going?
Well, look, I think if there's one thing, like if you had to read a book about the Maple Leafs, the book probably would have said or read the fact that they would have showed up the way that they did yesterday. And the book will probably say that after games like that, the Leafs usually tend to play their best games. So, and I don't know if this was a look ahead game for the Leafs where they're looking at Tampa, they're the closer team to them in the division. And this is the game that probably mattered most. I actually feel really good about the Leafs responding. They've played really good against Tampa this year. They've controlled all the games that they've played in. They're 3-0 against them. Vasilevsky, I know he's had an amazing bounce back year and he's found his form again, but he still has his numbers shows that he struggles against the Maple Leafs. I would probably give the nod to the Maple Leafs on this one.
All right. Usually 145 on the money line.
Yeah.
Not
And Stolar's in net. He's been really good as of late. They haven't seen him yet this year. Yeah.
Big number.
That's yeah.
Big number. Ooh, might lean that way. Things always work out well when you trust the Leafs, though, right? Like it's like, oh,
No.
great spot for the Leafs. You're like, oh,
you can't trust the Leafs.
No, and then that's when everybody points or everybody scores and they crush the game after. But a good bounce back spot there for the Leafs. I like the 6. I like another 6 here. Calgary, Anaheim. I'm hitting this 6-2, -115. Calgary 8-2 straight up in the last 10 meetings. The under's hitting 7-10. I know that's not a giant idea of where this game is going, but Calgary's under in 6 straight games as they're absolutely hanging on. This just screams maybe a low event game. I know Anaheim's been playing some better games, but Calgary has been dictating the pace of play with their opponents constantly during this stretch because it's the only way they can win. They're not winning 4-2. They just don't have it in it. Like there's talks of why Dustin Wolf is the most valuable player to that team. And it's because that team just needs to play low event hockey, win games. And it's the reason why they're still kind of in a playoff chase, even though they're 4 points out with the game in hand. But that Minnesota game, if they win today and they play Minnesota on Friday,
Crazy.
Right? Like, that could be something. Minnesota, if Dallas just would have put away Minnesota, right? Like,
right.
Oh, our President's Trophy play would have been looking great.
Yeah.
Where do you see this one? Anaheim's been playing in some shootouts. The Zegras and McTavish line has been good, but
really good. Yeah.
Can Calgary continue to dictate pace of play even without last change in Anaheim?
I mean, look, this is a team that knows that they can't afford to lose any more games. So that's you're playing desperate hockey. So yeah, I actually believe that Calgary knows they can't take a night off, can't take a shift off. So I expect them to play hard. And I think they know too that the Thursday game, is it the Thursday game or the Friday game against Minnesota?
Friday
game. Yeah. That's the game they're circling to get to make sure that they still have a chance to overtake them and maybe sniff into the playoffs. That'd be amazing if they could do that.
Calgary at Anaheim, home Minnesota, home San Jose, and then finish up Vegas and LA, which is tough. At LA, Vegas.
That's a tough schedule.
Vegas could be missing some pieces at the end of the schedule. Game 81 probably for them as well. So they could.
And I think they need like one more point to clinch the division, don't they?
Yeah, so they might get some schedule luck with those tough games at the end. Where Minnesota has San Jose today, at Calgary Friday, and then they have at Vancouver and versus Anaheim. So that's a pretty easy schedule. So Calgary certainly has to take care of business today and then again Friday. The rest of the slate is tough. St. Louis, Edmonton. Edmonton's -130. Don't know if McDavid is going to play. Do you know whether or not? I know Elliot was saying there might be a chance because he this is the first game back from that road trip, but St. Louis finally snapping that winning streak. What does that do for a team? I don't know if you've won 11 straight games and then lost one. How do you regain focus like that, especially in game 78?
Well, isn't it usually the trend that if you go on a really long winning streak, you sort of
that's the system bet of betting them to lose the next game because they don't know what it's like to be a losing team. Yeah.
This one is interesting. I don't expect McDavid to play. I'm just looking at the standings right now. Edmonton is 4 points back of LA with 5 games remaining. It's hard to think that, or hard to believe that Edmonton will catch LA. You can't think that LA is going to go on a little mini slump here to finish the season. So if that's what your realization is for Edmonton, do you really want to risk bringing a guy back early than he needs to be, or just, hey, let's just get everybody healthy, deal with the reality that we're being dealt, and just find a way to be 100% healthy once the first game of the playoffs starts?
Yeah, and I think a team with that much experience, I mean, they got as far as you can go without winning last year. They can trust themselves and be like, that's fine, we'll go on the road. We've played the Kings before. We've beat them, in 3 straight years?
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone's, they're a strong team down the center, but when you have the best player in hockey on your team, things are a little different. But I got no play here. I was hoping to get the under at 6. It's a tough spot. Not sure what McDavid does. We'll see what the lines do. I mean, you can stack St. Louis, but I don't know if we're in stack territory right now just because of where we are with the games. Philly, Rangers minus 190, over under at 5. This game could be 7-4. This game could be 2-1.
Why are the Rangers minus 190?
Philly's been off since Saturday. They haven't played hockey in an age.
Rangers have been the worst favorite in the NHL. How can you trust this team?
5-1 loss. So a big issue there is, coming off that 5-1 loss, don't know what the lines will be. They could be juggled again. They're done. There was.
I would not be laying 90 cents on the Rangers.
No.
See, it's just simple as that.
Philly's still playing free hockey, right?
Yeah.
Did they win? No, I think they finally took a loss, didn't they, on Saturday? They probably had the afternoon game again.
Who's this, Philly?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did lose. Here, I'll just pull it up quickly. Yeah, they lost to Montreal 3-2.
Yeah, another good game, though. San Jose at Minnesota. Minnesota's awful, too. They are. They showed a lot of guts coming back in that Dallas game. I get it. Not sure where they are in terms of injuries, but minus 310 right now is a giant price. San Jose is bad. I get it. San Jose is bad, but I'm not running out to bet the 250. But Minnesota could be circling ahead looking at that Friday game versus Calgary too, right? It's not an easy spot, no?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. You would think that being at home and having a team in San Jose that you should beat on paper, San Jose is one of those teams that, again, nothing really to play for, a bunch of young guys. They could easily play spoiler role and make life more difficult for Minnesota. I agree.
Who is still trying to figure out if Kaprizov's coming back. He's skating. Joel Eriksson X still trying to figure out if he's coming back. So there should be a lot of information coming out. Set for doctor visit. That was March 30th projection. So estimated to return somewhere around today. He can play today. He can come off the IR. So it's a lot of questions with that. Questions in Edmonton. And our buddy Elias Pettersson could be done for the year too, right? I hope it's serious, man. Quitting on your team sucks, but under. Things have changed.
I like it.
I think if you looked at our under record, I think it's awful.
So I got to do the reverse today, bet all the overs. Oh, there he is.
We got Joe Boo.
Unders it is.
Unders, yes.
Joe Boo. We got the magic tonight.
Sacrifice a live chicken.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Pettersson, get money all-star. Absolutely. I don't know. Yeah. Waiting to see if anything does move to the 6. I like any of those other games that are 5.5 if they move to the 6 on the under, except maybe Philly, the Rangers. I think that one has the highest variance of some potential shootouts. Don't be afraid to look for that Philly line, and waiting to see what happens with the Rangers line, waiting to see what happens with some talent in St. Louis. I don't know where Holloway is. He was week to week, so I think he's probably still nowhere near.
I would be surprised if you see him return before the playoffs.
Yeah. That's it is. We're getting to crunch time. Absolutely. But here today, here tomorrow, here Friday, and then next week, a 2-show day as Friday will be off. Then it's playoff time. So time to turn the knobs in the head in the handicapping world of being like, yo, over. Now it's like under, block shots under, team total under. We'll see how it goes. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate everybody there in the chat. We got NBA basketball releases coming up with John and Adam. 4 minutes from here as we wrap up perfectly. I'm Josh Ingles, East Carlo Colaiacovo. This is NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Appreciate everybody here. Enjoy your Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.
Ciao.